Good, everybody? My name is Alckemy, and this is the Erae Touch by Embodme. It is a French-developed MPE controller that has a ton of flexibility and is really fun to use, and I'm here to introduce this to you. Now, just as a full disclosure, I paid with this with my own money. I do not have any affiliate links for you. I don't have anything other than this is my true and honest thoughts. Although if you want to get this on discount, then you can look up somebody like Matthias or Midlife Synthesis for a 10% discount. This is currently 700 euros, about 750 US if you don't use the discount, and it's kind of expensive, but I think that there's a lot that this has to offer in which to kind of enrich your MIDI or MPE experience, and I'm here to talk about that. So I want to get a couple of feature requests out of the way in case if Embodme is watching this, and I'm just going to go ahead and talk about that now. You've got 16 different scenes, and among them are a sequencer, and another one is a clip launcher. Currently, the clip launcher does not work with Bitwig. It does work with Ableton, but please, Embodme, if you see this, this is the most important thing that I would like you to fix, because that's the whole reason why I bought this thing, was to launch clips within Bitwig and have fun with it, although it can do a bunch more. Yeah, there's that. Now, the other thing is less of, it's not really an issue or anything, but it's just a feature request that I think would be awesome to fit right here, is the nudge. And what nudging is if you have a sequencer that supports it, you can go into something like this and you can see that you can move everything a little bit late or a little bit early, which is pretty much like track delay or something of the sort that can kind of shift everything a little bit forward or a little bit late. But that's really important and something that I would love for this to be implemented with. Now, what's really cool about the sequencer in particular is that you can actually trigger this independently of your DAW. So you can kind of work on your sequencer or whatever without having to push play or whatever and kind of make all the beats go together. And I'm not really particularly sure if you can make this sync to the host, but it would be cool if there was maybe an interchangeable way. You've got different scenes that you can add. You can change the steps with divisions, 14, 13, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. You can change the BPM. You've got these different scenes that you can trigger, which is kind of cool. And yeah, it's super awesome. So with that, let's go ahead and backtrack a bit. This thing is really cool because it's customizable. So this is the main thing that I have here. This is for playing drums, right? And then this is for playing, you know, just maybe a single octave of different keys or basses of the sort. Yeah, it's pretty sick. And then you've got all these other ones that you can kind of just cycle through in case if you've got your other needs to be met, whether it be through MIDI triggering or drums or, you know, crazy weird and wonky layouts, you know, different stuff like this, which is pretty sick. It's got scales on here, so if you push on this little harmony button, we can go to the chromatic here. This only supports that, but if we go to this scene and hit this, then you can set like D sharp or something, go into Phrygian. I would love more scale modes, but that's not really a deal breaker because as long as I have the octaves, then I can technically play what I want. It's just kind of nice to have. But yeah, it's super customizable. Now, on top of all of this, it comes with a companion software. It also comes with a Bitwig script, Sans, the clip launcher. It was super easy to install. It was just like 1 or 2 files, and then you just put them into the documents of the Bitwig folder, and then it's like good to go. And I was like, yes, that's super easy and convenient. But with this software here, as you can see, like you can make your own faceplates. You can kind of use anything between these, I guess, modules here to create stuff, and then you can change the colors of each pad. If you go to the style, you can set up to what channel you want to send these to. I do think that there's a way that you can have these go to separate channels, but currently on Bitwig it doesn't. I can't really get it to work because I've only got the choice between the Erae Touch and then MPE, but it does have MPE master channels and stuff, and I don't know, there's something within there. It's got a different vibrato and different settings that you can change, and then if you want to mess with the colors, then you can kind of get really like into this and switch up the degrees or make your own scale if you want to, or change the coloring sets and all that stuff. So I would love to just see this continue to be supported. They've already come out with quite a few updates for it, and it's really cool because you can save this. You just send it to your push whenever it's ready. You'll see that it says saving. And then whenever it's done, it'll just pop back up and be ready to go. What I also really think is awesome about this is if you go to the settings here, then you can check for updates, and then that will pull you up to their website. So if they come out with a new update, then you just drag it in here and then it does its job. It usually takes like 30 seconds. It's super easy to work with. Now, the reason why I like this so much, and the reason why I've been wanting to get an MPE controller as of late, is because I don't know if you all have seen the Stencil Morph review that I have, which, rest in peace, Stencil Morph. You guys are an amazing company. Talk about somebody that put a bunch of faith in my ability. The Stencil Morph catalyzed the bases and stuff that I do today, that is known as the Eternum series. And the reason why it's so significant is because with a single finger, let's go to this one and hit alternate, I can hit a note, and if I push on the pressure, that's going to activate the filter. If I move it upwards, it's going to activate the generator, which continues to evolve the sound in a bunch of different ways. And when I have something that's more tactile with this, and I have something that I'm able to actually kind of manipulate and express, not only does it help me showcase these presets better, but it also helps me shape the sounds in a more intentional way, if you will. That's a super high octave, I apologize, but see what I'm talking about? It's super sick. And there's a bunch of different like presets that I've made or whatever that has been inspired from the MPE approach in the first place. Now, the other thing with this is that it's super durable. You can hit pad or hit it with sticks if you want to. I would recommend using a rubber tip. So I think that the build quality is absolutely nice. It's nice and hefty, but not like, I don't know, too heavy. The small unfortunate thing about it is that it has to be connected via USB and a power supply because it's meant to be played at maximum brightness. But to me, that's not really that big of a deal considering most MPE controllers and keyboards and stuff do that in the first place. But it's cool because it's big. You can see that it's about the size of my hand almost, and it's easy to manipulate. So if I need to pick this up, move it out of the way or something, I can kind of sift it over the side and work on my relatively small desk space and then kind of bring it back in. It's not like an 88 keyboard that I'm like, oh, and then move it over. It just kind of fits. It also comes with a bag that I use to store. It's super nice. Just a nice little touch that comes with there. It shipped super fast. It took like a week and a half, and the customer support has been really easy to get a hold of, especially on Instagram. And so far, my user experience with this has been really nice. The other cool thing, which isn't exclusive to something like this, but I guess just this kind of layout, is that it makes it really easy to play different chord shapes. So for example, if I were to pull up a different preset here, say something like Flowetry, and I just pull this up a couple of octaves, and I just hit something like this. Maybe move it up. You can see that I'm playing the same chord. It's not the same, it's not like the same voicing or whatever, but you can see that it's really easy to kind of just be like, all right, well, let's try this shape. Not everyone is a banger, but even still, sometimes it's really cool to just you see what I'm saying? Like, it makes it really inspiring and intuitive, and kind of like begs the question for you to try different shapes of how you touch things in which to find your answers. And because it's not the general outlook of a piano, if you are new to music theory or something, you don't really approach it in that way. And sometimes it's refreshing. It's like picking up a guitar after playing a bunch of piano and like trying to find new stuff, So with that, I think that the responsiveness of this is super awesome. You can see that it's triggering, although nothing is, this is pretty slow. If I were to play this with drums, you'll see that I can hit this as fast as I can. But it just doesn't, there are no ghost notes. It doesn't trigger on its own. Sometimes you might have to calibrate it, which is really easy to do. You just hit, I think, the Alt and minus button, touch on these guys. There you go, it's calibrated. And then you just kind of come back to this and you're ready to go. So all in all, I think that this is an amazing piece of hardware. I really enjoy the accessibility behind it and the fact that there's a lot of customization. To me, this is like the Stencil Morph Evolved, except I don't have to change the faceplates now. Even though there is no battery or anything, it's not really that big of a deal because I'm only going to be at home using this in the first place. Although I can hook this up to my phone or an iPad. But something to consider on that note is that for the price of this and a brand new iPad Pro for about $800, that would be less expensive than getting an Ableton Push 3 in standalone mode. We're talking about like an M2 iPad. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't get a Push 3. I'm not even wanting to bring that up, but just because of the fact that it's a hot topic. If live isn't your thing and you're looking for a really nice alternative, this has its own built-in script, and I think that they'll probably add those features that are left to be desired in the future because it's just software. And this is shaping up to be a very fun device and very inspiring that is very easy to kind of just turn on and start getting into, especially with something like Bitwig, as almost everything in it is supported by MPE. So I can't really say whether or not this is worth it for you. And I'm not really here to answer that question. I'm more so in the sense of trying to expose you to the technology and have some fun while we journey into the modern age of music. And if you do have any questions, then I invite you to ask in the comment section or to let me know what your thoughts are on whether or not this device seems interesting to you or not, and tell me why. Other than that, thank you so much. Embodme, if you watch this tutorial, please consider the updates that I have requested. I think that everybody can benefit from it and appreciate it. Other than that, thank you guys, and I will see you in the next one.